Just a quick little video about a Bradbury 4-post lift 700 series. I picked this up a little while ago. I've been using it, but it started dropping quite rapidly onto its safety blocks, and this is the O-ring from the bottom of the ram. It looks like a dinosaur has taken a bite out of it. So I thought, well, whilst it's apart, I'll show a little video how it's more or less works in its components, and how to put it back together again. Also how to take it apart. There's one or two silly little things that make life a lot easier if you do them in dismantling the whole thing. It's not always possible, I guess, but it's just for a bit of guidance, because I couldn't find anything about these things. Right, so first of all, the base with the oil tank and the ram, 3 bolts holding it down. I've used M12s with external fittings, so basically you need an M20 drill bit to whack a hole in the concrete. Can't see that coming out anytime soon. You got 3 cables going to the 3 corners. There's a bolt on top of each post to adjust the cables. That's fairly straightforward and standard. The 4th corner, of course, is done by the ram, which is held on by these 2 metal strips. These 2 bolts still need to be tightened fully. Hold the thing. There's 2 on the other side as well, so there's 4 bolts holding it. This ram wants to be vertical, properly vertical, not a little bit vertical. I first of all measured from the box, but the box and the ram don't have exactly the same orientation, so gave up on that. Get the ram vertical, because otherwise it'll run. Over here go a couple of little wheelies, and they run on the inside of this pipe. I'll show it later. If it's not vertical, that can either get tight at the bottom or at the top. Anyway, neither here nor there. Right, so the next thing to do on this is to get this sopping great big green pipe sliding over, well, or around the ram with this metal bit. Now you have to come in from the side first and then twist it 90 degrees. There's no way of doing it any other way as far as I can see. Somebody really strong might be able to lift it over the top. I can't do that. So yes, on this pipe at the top there is the mechanism to release the oil pressure, which is a pin. This pin goes through here. There's a little jobby that goes through that hole, and then we have, I'll show it here actually, it's easy. We got this long bar going right down to the bottom, where there's a hinged bit of metal going into the box, with in there is an upright that will release the oil. Now, I had some fun and games getting this blighter apart, having never done it. These pins are shaped, they're conical, so they will only come out one way. The holes are also conical, so they also come out one way, go in and out one way. It's very tricky getting this apart on the lift, well, because of the orientation of the pins, and it will be rusty and painted and goodness knows what. But just so you know, just don't stand there hammering trying to get the blighter to go through. It won't. You'll break something. Yes, that's it for now. Oh, this oil. This is the oil return pipe. If it goes past the seal, it goes up to the top, comes down this metal pipe into the plastic pipe, into the little container jobby, and then flows back into the reservoir. In order to get that green pipe off, this black hose needs to go inside the green pipe to get it off. If you don't do that, again, you have a small world of trouble, which I had. You bend all sorts of things, you break things. Anyway, whatever. It's all fixable. But if you can push this back as the pipe comes up, because this is the corresponding slot for that plastic pipe. So if you can get it down there, it'll just slide up, no worries at all. This narrow slot is where the hinged bit goes. That goes back to the into the oil tank. And here you have a hole where an Allen key, I think it's 5/32, is screwed in to hold this hinge bit. Again, take it out, it'll bend, guaranteed. That's how I found out. It's all very thin metal, you see, straighten it out, no worries. But the bolts in the ground at the moment are not tightened up. The two front ones also hold the big green pipe, so you can't put those bolts in tight until the green pipe is on, properly down, located with all the bits and bobbins done. The back one is a lot tighter, that back bolt, but it's still, at the moment I've just put them there for locating. It's fun and game, otherwise that you just lose. Anyway, we'll see what we can do with getting that green pipe on and all the bits and bobs, and then I'll show a bit more. That's part one of the operation. The green pipe is in position. I lifted it over this bit and then twisted it anti-clockwise. Tried twisting it clockwise, doesn't work. Don't know why. Twisted it anti-clockwise, it just went on as easy as it comes. Right, the thing is in place. The pipe is where it wants to be. I have not connected the bolts at the bottom yet, because in there, where the small slot is on the left hand side, I need to get that piece of metal on the ground in it with a bit of Allen key type thing. And I thought, if I drop the Allen key, I have to take all the bolts out again. I might be able to get a magnet around the back, but anyway, so that's the next part of the process. After that we'll put the bolts in and have a go at the inside here. I had to take the pipe off again and assemble this bit. This pin is easy enough to get in, that's not a problem. It's this thing with the long bar attached on the inside. You can't get that in after the pipe is on the machine, so you need to do it beforehand. This does illustrate how the pins go that hold it. This one and this one around the back. They don't need much, literally a very light tap is enough. To disassemble, basically knock this one out first, out to the top, then twist the bar, so move it sideways, which is what you can then do. So you can take this little pin out that goes on the inside, that does the locking mechanism. Once you got that pin out of the way, twist the whole thing over and knock this little pin out from the other side. There's a bit of tapping involved because there's always paint and stuff in the way, but that's the only way I can see of taking that apart. As I say, there's no point trying to knock the pin through. You'll just cause a world of troubles. Here's the mechanism for releasing the RAM. That is the bitty that connects to the long bit on the inside of the green pipe. This is a double pin which picks up this vertical, which actually releases the oil, and here you have a spring which makes sure that everything stays where it's supposed to be. In the video it looks like the cable is on top of the spring, but there's actually 2 inches in between, so no chance of that getting wrong. Yeah, according to someone I've read, there's about 22 liters of oil in the main reservoir. Probably not far off. I've had 15 liters in there and it doesn't quite go to the highest position, so chucked another 5 liters in, it's fine then. So yes, I've reset the ramps nice and level. It's a 27mm flat on the screw pins, and then silly big to tighten up the nut on top. This little lot is a little handle jobby to hang on the release mechanism to drop the bed. So basically to release, pull that handle and it very slowly comes down. Yeah, quite pleased with that. It's not terribly difficult. It's a bit of a fiddly job on your own, but it can be done. Why do you put the whole blessed thing together on my own? That was a job. But yes, I hope this is of use to someone, and otherwise it'll be on YouTube with no one ever watching it. Not a bad thing either.